Hello everybody and welcome to another Daily Waves on Cryptos. It's been a week since the last time that we have, of course, analyzed the markets. We're going to have a quick look on BTC and also RUNE, which was voted by the Quora Inner Cycle team. Do not forget that none of this constitutes investment advice. Last time also I did mention that we are moving to Discord. You're going to receive details probably in the next video or the one after. So stay tuned on that bit, because there's going to be different packages now that some of you might be interested to join my my private group, where I analyze, of course, using Elliott waves, doing on-chain analysis on a weekly basis, webinars, participating in group discussions and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's jump straight to BTC. All right, so we're here and we're having a quick look on what we actually where we left last time. So if you remember, we talked about this downside leg being a 5-wave impulse, part of wave C of a flat over here. We're looking for another low, at least closer to the previous low. Wave 1 and 2, 3 and 4 like this makes sense. And this is a WXY. We've discussed why a W here, not an A, many times, and this is why I'm keeping this scenario as a main. But also, we said that wave 1 is done. Okay, now wave 2 is done for me as well. So there is here, guys, we're pretty much looking. There is two cases, okay, in the I would say short to medium term. One is that our wave 4 finished up here, and this is 1 and 2, and we're going to get 3, 4 and 5. Or the other one would be that this is going to be a correction here. We're going to get a wave 2 here and then go lower. But the reality is that having done the 45.80 up here and the 45.30 down here for the correction in wave 2, nearly like, I don't know, 95% correction or so, it's highly unlikely that a wave 2 it's going to be here, which means, something like this and then down. I would, however, be more inclined to have this something as a W, X, and perhaps like a Y or something that is going to give us, of course, a lower end for wave 2. So it can only be, what can it be? It can be a W, X, and Y with a triangle, which means that would be A, B, C, W, that will be X, and then we'll have A, B, C, D, and E. And from there, we'll go lower down. Or it would be a case where this could be a running flat, which means we've got A, B, C. Then you got something like A, B, C, and this is going to be A, B, and C. Actually, no, wave Y. But if I'm not mistaken, we do not, or do we? 1 second. We will confirm right now if this is possible. Yes, it is possible. The only thing I am looking is that the two structures don't really make sense together. For example, if this is indeed a W, an ABC, and this just lays an IBC, then my flat is going to be here. So, I mean, wave W would be double the size of the flat. So this is not very likely. Okay, a W, X, and Y would be much more likely a case if that would be an ABC over here for WX, and that would be A, B, probably C, D, and E here. Okay, so I repeat, that would be my wave 4 being here, my wave 3 being here, W, X, and Y, and then go lower down. But in this particular case, and this is an alternative I'm bringing in, guys, our wave 1 would be down here, okay, and it wouldn't be here because wave 2 and wave 4 cannot be together in the same structure if my wave 4 is going to extend its duration. Okay, this would not make sense. So it would be a case where this is 1, this is 2, okay, this would be 3, this would be 4, and then we'll get 5. Okay, now in that case, wave 4 can be a W, X, and Y, but it can also be a triangle. And the triangle will be over here, obviously. Now, why? You might ask, because we need to end the triangle below here, okay? Otherwise, it's an invalid case because the 4 and 1 would overlap with one another, okay? There is a lot that are calling this A, B, C, D, and E already. I will tell you something. There is no such case. The wave D is not finished, and I will tell you why. Well, let's put this over here. I want to explain you quickly. My wave 1, allegedly, would be at 42,239, right? So for us to confirm a triangle in wave 4, our wave E would have to end below 42,239, right? So for us to end down there, it means that we need to have at least 70% correction, because it would be a truncation here, right? Because I mean, many analysts don't do that, but I do, and I follow these strictly. Truncations have to be 70% and up. So if you don't do 70% of the wave, that's not a truncation. It's probably something else. So given that, I want you to see the potential. Okay, let me just do this quickly here. Let's say A, B, C, D, and E is here. First of all, obviously we've gone above the wave 1, so it's invalid. But what I'm saying is that I would want to see wave D down here and then a wave E up here. Why? Well, because we would have to go above, and this is what we see, above the truncation, above the wave 1. Why? Well, hold on. So let's use this. Fine. So we'll have to come to around the 42,769 for this to be valid, okay? With a wave D being down here. So for us to move to a territory below wave 1 that this triangle is valid, it means that we'd have to drag this 70% to at least 4230. Okay, so if we assume an exact wave 3 ending here, then our wave D will have to come down to 3858. So for me, this triangle in wave 4 would only be valid if wave D came down to around 3580, which means this would be, this would be there. So you have A, B, C, will still be in wave D, and then we'll get E. Okay, just to make things a bit more clear. And it's just also for the fact that I'm using truncation rules. Okay, so this is for the main. Hold on. And the alternatives, of course. Now, looking at this, hold on. Okay, that's already explained. W, X, and Y already explained for wave 4 there as well. That would be a triangle. And then we'll go to the variations. Okay, one would be that we ended wave, the expanded flat. Of course, we'll have 1 and 2. This is going to be 1 and 2 again. So we don't need to worry about where our wave 4 would have gone into. You know, the territory of wave 1, it wouldn't matter. So this is how we are pretty much getting away, let's just say, with these. Move to the downside with an expanded flat. Wave 2 would be here, or it would be here. It doesn't really matter. The idea here is the longer term expanded flat, which obviously has much more downside. The running flat potential, it's like, you know, we finished down here, and this is going to be 1 and 2. I'm going to get 3, 4, and 5. And here will still be a case where it might be W, X, and Y. We'll get a triangle and then we'll continue higher, or it might be a flat over here. If you look at the top to bottom thing, we are doing the 90% correction here. So ABC, ABC, and we might get something like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we'll get a triangle flat, and then we'll move higher up. That would be the running variation. Then we'll have the double triangle, which is very unlikely that is going to happen, to be fair, because the WX, I mean the Y doesn't really look like it's going to get there, unless if this somehow became something like okay, if this is ABC, then that would probably be something like WX, and we'll get something like ABC for Y to get wave B, and then C, D, and E, which is highly unlikely. It's becoming unlikely. Double flat over here as well. That similar case, it's becoming a bit unlikely. And then the bear case, well, I was thinking that, you know, we might get another ABC here in wave B, and then go up for for C, and then continue to the downside. Now in this case, guys, I mean, a wave B can be anything, because you got A, oops, excuse me, you got A here, you got B, that might be C, D, and E, and then you move down in C, and then go the 2 and then the 3. It could be any sort of correction here, so it's a bit pointless to go through all of these cases. Now I want to quickly go in the short term, so I'm going to take you down to the 1 hour. And based on my expectations, of course, that wave 4 is done here, we are looking at this as a wave 1, because we have a 5-wave structure to the downside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the blue. You've got an A, B, C all the way up in wave 2. And then it looks like to me we are starting, and it could be finished, or we might get another leg up and then go down. Starting the wave 3, or we'll start the wave 3 of minute wave 3 fairly soon. Okay, so in this case, of course, we would be getting something like the 3rd wave down here, the 4th and the 5th. That would be where 3 would finish, then we'll get 4 and 5, and then we'll get wave C. So it would be, that would be the case actually here, right? So we will do 3, hold on. So I repeat, this is 4, this is 1 and 2, and then we'll get 3, 4, and 5, okay? And internally, we are starting wave 3, which means this is 1 and this is 2. We're going to get 3, 4, and 5, then 4 and 5. And then we're going to end there, and we're going to start moving higher up. Okay. Now this case can be also for the expanding flat, because the assumption is that this would be, you know, wave 1 and wave 2. So instead of 4 here would be a 2, and that would be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Continuation to the downside. Now, as I said before, my wave 1 and my 2 has ended here. There's chances that that might be ABC, and we're going to end wave 2 here. But then if that happened, then the chances of these having, you know, being the correction in wave 4 or in wave 2 allegedly, then they would reduce. So I don't think that we're gonna get a wave 2 being here. I think wave 2 is done. Okay, and that's that. And we're gonna quickly go on RUNE just to show you my main account here. Right, looking at CoinMarketCap data, we started in 2019 or so. This is the actual structure to the upside. Okay, and it looks like to me we'll just have finished wave 1 up here in middle of 2021. And due to the correction, which comes at about exactly actually 90%, this is considered to be a flat, right? Now, I'm also looking at the volumes here, which play a significant role, okay? We've had waves A, B, and C completed, okay? Very big volumes here, which is a support volume, and gave us an upside all the way there. Now we'll have lower volumes over here, which means to me this is very possible to offer us a correction rather than an impulse to the upside that is going to break the previous high. Okay, so what I am looking, particularly in this case then, guys, is I'm looking for a W, X, and Y. Okay, that also does remind of an ABC, which might be a bit, might have a bit of an extended wave C, because, you know, we've already done the 100 Fibo, but we can even do the 161. It's not like highly unlikely that we see extended wave C in ABCs. It's just not the usual guideline. So I'm thinking that we are possibly going to get a move all the way up to this channel top, and then have another like zigzag or any other sort of correction that can be the part of wave Y. Might be ABC, might be a triangle, might be another flat. We do not know, but we are getting here the flat, okay, and we're getting the sharp and simple zigzag for wave X, and then continuation to the downside. So yeah, I think in the short term we'll have a bit more upside to go here. Now, where do we go after this? Well, that's going to be, I mean, we can go very low, guys. That's the reality. But judging from, you know, usual moves that we see in WX and Ys, because WX and Ys are usually sideways markets, we'll probably expect to go the lowest to the previous low around 3. I know that is very, very far from where we are now, and it's going to be a big drop, but this is what I'm looking as the main, okay? So a little bit more upside, and then all the way down. Of course, there is also a very close alternative that says, okay, then I'm not looking at this. Okay, I will show you now. This is the second alternative. The first alternative also sees an ABC here, but it looks at this as the end of this flat pattern, because you have a 5-wave move to the downside. Okay, actually, to be more precise, the end would be here. We'll have wave 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5, as I have in the main scenario. Look at this. The main, right? We finish down here. So the difference would be that this is 1 and 2, and then we'll get 3, 4 and 5. That would be wave 1, and then we'll get 2, and then we'll continue all the way up. Okay, we're going to get wave 3. That's going to be obviously explosive. That's going to be, so we're looking for at least something like 45, 50, even more, okay? But looking at the general market sentiment in general and all the biases, I just don't think anything is going to break fresh highs. Very, very few options if BTC stays stable. If it doesn't and starts falling, which is my main scenario as well on BTC, then I don't think that anything's going to go higher. So that was the closest alternative either way. And the other alternative is that we're going to get an extended wave C, which means this is 1, we're going to get wave 2, then 3, 4, and 5. Now, in this case, there is something that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the fact that our wave 1 is too deep, okay, and we did the previous low. It would be a better case if that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 around the 4 or something, rather than getting all the way down there. But either way, we're looking at an expanded flat over here in wave 2, okay? And if we assumed that we are ending around where we currently are, then we'll be looking to get down to like the 60 cents or something, which is crazy, okay? So there might be a case that although we have labeled this, of course, as an ABC, as a 5-wave move to the downside for now, it might be an ABC. Okay, because you do have quite a structure here that can be read equally as a 5-wave or as a 7-wave move. So you know, it could easily be an ABC. That would mean, of course, that we might get something like an ending diagonal. The ending diagonal will probably have less downside. So yes, and as I said, the reason of, you know, supporting that main is mainly because of the volumes. I would have expected to see something better here. Okay, the reality also though is that these volumes are coming in. For example, it's a breakout volume. Obviously, you can see that there could be assumed to be like a bit of an upside volumes here, but you know, the idea though is, for example, look at this. We didn't have, I mean, the big volumes came really here. Look at this. It was like a downside move that, you know, gave us a lot of, well, it was a bit of a lot of selling here, it looks like, but also buying, but mainly we closed the day down. But the main impulse came over here. Okay, you see, we don't have something similar here. We do have that, which is the equal upside over here, but that was a downside move. And then we fall gradually, Okay, gradually falling means that, I mean, literally that can be our third wave, but it's for the internal structure rather than a 1-2. That's what I'm saying. So I'm more keen to see these, you know, start actually losing its grip a little bit. And, you know, it's not necessary that we're going to go up there, by the way, right? What I'm focusing on is the fact that we are getting a massive signal here and we are looking at the daily. Okay, divergence, a little bit more upside, and that's going to be a very big signal. And I'm pretty sure something done on the 4 hour would be a similar case. And, you know, it would just be looking to me like, it looks to me like a fifth wave is coming in as we speak. Okay, now that might be the fifth of a third or the fifth of a fifth. If this is the fifth of the fifth, we're going to turn very, very soon. But if it's not, then we can continue higher. But to me, it looks like we're going to be done fairly soon. And it's actually really looking like a very nice diagonal here as well. So let's see, at least in the short term, I think we're going to get some downside down to around 690 or so. And from there, we can probably judge better whether this is going to continue higher or not. So that's going to be all. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.